My girlfriend said, "Your daughter's secret art project is probably nothing important. I threw it out to clean up." My daughter had been working on her college portfolio for months. I replied, "You might want to check what that was." Then I showed her the acceptance letter to her dream art school that came with a $50,000 scholarship requiring that portfolio. When I sued her and she realized what she'd cost my daughter, 38 male, walked into my house at 6:15 p.m. on a Thursday to find my daughter, 17, sitting on the kitchen floor, hyperventilating into a paper bag. Not crying, past crying, full shock mode. "Where is it?" she kept saying. "Where is it? Where is it? Where is it?" Took me a solid 3 minutes to get her coherent enough to explain. When she did, I genuinely thought I'd misheard. She threw away my portfolio, the whole thing. She texted me at 2 p.m. saying she cleaned up my art clutter in the garage. My girlfriend, 32, let's be clear, ex-girlfriend as of that exact moment, had moved in 4 months ago. Been dating a year and a half total. She worked from home, doing social media consulting, which seemed to involve posting on Instagram and calling it work. Always complaining about how chaotic and disorganized my house was. My daughter's art stuff particularly annoyed her. Too many supplies, too messy, too much space taken up. I'd told her straight up, the garage is converted into an art studio. Off limits. Don't touch her stuff. The portfolio was everything. 8 months of work, 20 pieces for her application to this insanely selective art school. Like 7% acceptance rate, people get rejected with perfect GPAs. She'd been working on it since last September. Some pieces took her 2 months each. "Show me the text," I said. My daughter handed me her phone. The message from my girlfriend, "Hey, cleaned out the garage today. Threw away all those old art projects that were taking up space. You're welcome, house looks so much better." My daughter had responded, "What art projects? That dusty black case thing and like 3 canvases. They looked ancient, lol." That was my college portfolio. Oops. Well, you can make new stuff, right? Trash already got picked up this morning. I called my girlfriend. She answered on the 3rd ring, chipper as hell. "Hey babe, you see how clean the garage looks? Where's the portfolio?" "Oh my god, are you seriously mad? I was trying to help." The black portfolio case that was on the shelf by itself. Labeled, "Where is it?" "It's gone," I told your daughter. "Trash came this morning. It was taking up so much room and she obviously wasn't using it, just sitting there collecting dust." She's been working on it every single day for 8 months. Pause. Well, she should have said something. It was labeled, "College portfolio, do not move," in giant letters. I don't read every little thing. I was in cleaning mode. Besides, if it was so important, why was it just sitting there? My daughter grabbed the phone from me. "It was sitting there because I finished it. I was waiting for my final piece to dry before submitting." Don't yell at me. I didn't know. God, you guys are so dramatic. Just draw some new pictures. You're good at art. I took the phone back. She got accepted to that art school, the one she's been working toward for 3 years. Okay, so she's in. What's the problem? They gave her a $50,000 scholarship, conditional on submitting the physical portfolio by April 15th. That's in 3 weeks. Silence. Long silence. That's not my fault. How was I supposed to know some random art stuff was worth money? It was labeled. Whatever, you're both overreacting. Tell her to make new art. She's 17, she's got time. I gotta go, I have a client call. She hung up. My daughter looked at me. I can't remake 8 months of work in 3 weeks. I know. That scholarship was everything. State University costs $18 a year. With her scholarship, the art school was free plus $50 for supplies and housing. I had $15 saved for her college. We were going to make it work with minimal loans. Now, we were looking at $70 in debt for state school. Which is fine. It's a good school, but it wasn't her dream. Spent that evening trying everything. Called the waste management facility. Once trash is dumped, they don't let you search. Liability issues. Checked every neighbor's bin. Nothing. It was gone. Called the art school, explained the situation. The admissions counselor was sympathetic but firm. The scholarship specifically requires the physical portfolio. We need to see the actual textures, materials, scale. Digital photos aren't sufficient. I can maybe get you until May 1st, but that's the absolute latest. 2 extra weeks. Still not enough. My daughter went to her room and didn't come out. When my girlfriend got home at 8 p.m., she walked in like nothing happened. Started talking about dinner. We need to talk, I said. Ugh, if this is still about the art thing, I already said I'm sorry. It was an accident. An accident? Yes, I was cleaning. How many times do I have to apologize? You haven't apologized once. You said we're overreacting. Because you are. It's art supplies. She can make more. My daughter came out of her room, eyes red, held up her phone showing the acceptance email. This is what you threw away. $50,000. My dream school. 4 years of planning. My girlfriend barely glanced at it. Okay. Well, I didn't know. Not my fault you didn't communicate how important it was. It was in a labeled portfolio case in a room you were told not to touch. Don't raise your voice at me. I live here too. I have a right to clean. You don't live here anymore, I said. Pack your stuff. You need to leave. Her jaw dropped. Are you serious right now? Dead serious. You're breaking up with me because I threw away some art projects? My daughter made a noise like a wounded animal and went back to her room. Not some art projects. 8 months of work. $50,000. Her future, because you decided your need to clean was more important than respecting boundaries. This is insane. I made a mistake. People make mistakes. Mistakes have consequences. Get out. You're gonna regret this so much. I've put up with your depressing house, your bratty daughter, your weird work schedule. You think you're gonna find better? You're almost 40 with a teenager. And yet I'm still better off without you. Funny how that works. You've got till Sunday to get your stuff. She grabbed her purse, face red. Don't come crying to me when you realize you ruined a good thing. She slammed the door hard enough to rattle the frame. Got a text an hour later. When you calm down and stop being so emotional, we can talk like adults. I forgive you for overreacting. I blocked her number. Saturday morning, I did something I've never done before. Called a lawyer. Update 1. The lawyer's office was Monday morning. Guy looked at my documentation, the acceptance letter, the scholarship terms, the text messages, the photos my daughter had taken of each piece in progress. This is viable, he said. Destruction of property with quantifiable damages. The scholarship offer is documented, the physical portfolio requirement is explicit, and you have proof she was told not to touch items in that space. What are we talking about money-wise? The scholarship was $50,000. Plus emotional distress for your daughter, plus your legal fees. We could pursue the full amount in civil court. And if we win, big if, but the documentation is solid. She admitted to throwing it away via text. The damages are real and documented. I'd say we've got a strong case. Papers were filed Thursday. She was served Friday at her new apartment. The phone calls started immediately. 17 in the first hour. I didn't answer. Let them all go to voicemail. Message 1. What the actual hell? You're suing me? Message 4. This is abuse. Financial abuse. Message 9. My mom's lawyer says this is frivolous harassment. Message 13. You're only doing this to punish me for the breakup. Message 17. Fine. See you in court. Hope you have money for a lawyer because you're going to lose. She also started a group text with mutual friends. Can you believe this? He's suing me over cleaning, trying to take my money because his daughter is dramatic. Please talk some sense into him. One of them, this woman from my girlfriend's yoga class, actually called me. This is really extreme. She made a mistake. Do you really want to ruin her life over art supplies? She destroyed 8 months of work and cost my kid $50,000. I'm just asking her to pay for what she destroyed. But she didn't mean to. You're being vindictive. Cool. You can testify to that in court. Hung up. By Sunday, my ex had crafted a full narrative on social media. Vague posts about toxic men who can't handle strong women and weaponizing the legal system because the relationship ended. Didn't name me directly, but mutual followers figured it out. I started getting DMs, some supportive, some calling me everything from controlling to abusive. My daughter saw some of the messages. Kids at school were asking her about it. She ended up deleting all her social media. That's when I stopped caring about being the good guy. Tuesday morning, I filed an amendment to the lawsuit, added defamation and witness intimidation to the charges, compiled every harassing message, every defamatory post, every attempt to turn people against us. My ex's lawyer called my lawyer. Tried to negotiate, offered $3,000 to settle. Counteroffer, I told my lawyer. $45,000. Take it or see us in court. They won't pay that. Then we go to trial. Meanwhile, my ex escalated. Wednesday afternoon, I got a call from my supervisor at work. Hey, got a weird call from someone claiming to be your ex-girlfriend's attorney. Said you're using company time to harass his client, sending threatening messages during work hours. That's completely false. I haven't contacted her at all. Everything goes through my lawyer. That's what I figured. Just wanted to give you a heads up. Sounds like she's trying to cause problems. Noted. Added to the documentation. Thursday night, my doorbell rang at 11 p.m. Checked the camera. My ex, clearly drunk, holding a bottle of wine. Let me in. We need to talk. I spoke through the ring. Go home. Don't come back. You can't do this to me. I love you. I made a mistake. And now you're trespassing. Leave or I call the cops. You wouldn't. I pulled up the non-emergency line on my phone, showed it to the camera. She screamed something incoherent and stumbled off. Friday morning, her mom showed up. Actually showed up at my house at 7 a.m. while I was getting ready for work. You need to drop this lawsuit, she said when I opened the door. My daughter made a mistake. She's sorry. This is ruining her life. She destroyed my daughter's future over garage space. It was an accident she refuses to take responsibility for. She had multiple chances to apologize, to offer to help fix it, to show any remorse. Instead, she told us we were overreacting and the trash had already been picked up. Lol. You're doing this to punish her for breaking up with you. I broke up with her because she destroyed $50,000 worth of my daughter's work and didn't care. She can't afford this. She'll have to declare bankruptcy. Should have thought about that before throwing away labeled property in a space she was explicitly told not to touch. Her mom's eyes narrowed. You'll regret this. We'll make sure everyone knows what kind of man you are. You're already trying that. Hasn't worked yet. I closed the door. She stood on my porch for another 5 minutes before leaving. That weekend, things got creative. Someone left a 1-star review on my works page. Employs vindictive men who sue women for cleaning. Would not recommend supporting this business. Someone reported my truck for abandoned vehicle status. Got a notice on my windshield. Had to go to the DMV and prove it was actively registered. Someone called CPS claiming my daughter was being emotionally abused by involving her in adult legal matters. A caseworker actually came to the house. Interview lasted 10 minutes before she determined it was a false report. All of it documented. All of it added to our case. The preliminary hearing was set for 3 weeks out. My daughter tried to recreate the portfolio. Worked herself to exhaustion. 16-hour days. Barely eating. She submitted something by May 1st, but you could see it was rushed. The school's response came via email. Thank you for your submission. While we appreciate the effort, the portfolio does not meet the standards required for our scholarship program. Your acceptance stands, but without financial aid, tuition would be $52,000 per year. My daughter read it and just shut down. Didn't cry, didn't rage, just went numb. She enrolled at State University. Good school, decent art program, not her dream, but reality. The scholarship was officially gone. Now we were just fighting over consequences. Update 2. The preliminary hearing was wild. My ex showed up dressed like she was going to a business meeting. Full professional outfit, hair done, makeup perfect. Playing the part of the reasonable adult being harassed by her crazy ex. Her lawyer filed a motion to dismiss, arguing this was a domestic relationship dispute that didn't belong in civil court. My lawyer's response was simple. Showed the acceptance letter, the scholarship terms requiring the physical portfolio, the text messages where she admitted throwing it out, and the email from the school rejecting the rushed replacement. The judge, this woman in her 50s who looked perpetually unimpressed, read through everything. Is your client disputing that she threw away the portfolio? My ex's lawyer hesitated. No, Your Honor, but context matters. She was living in the home, attempting to organize. Was she told not to touch items in the garage? I submitted the text from 6 weeks before the incident. Me telling her explicitly, the garage is my daughter's art studio. Please don't move or touch anything in there. Her response, fine, I won't touch your precious art room. The judge raised an eyebrow. Seems clear to me, Motion denied. We'll proceed to trial. My ex looked pissed. Her lawyer looked resigned. Outside the courtroom, my ex's mom was waiting. The second she saw me, she started in. "This is harassment. You're bullying my daughter. She's had panic attacks over this. She destroyed 8 months of work and $50,000 in scholarship money. She's experiencing consequences, not harassment. It was an accident. An accident she's refused to apologize for or take responsibility for. Actions have consequences." Her mom got in my face. "You'll get what's coming to you. Karma's a thing." Security intervened before it got worse. But the real insanity started that week. Monday, got a call from my insurance company. Someone had filed a claim saying I'd hit their car in a parking lot and fled. Had to provide my location data for that day to prove it wasn't me. Claim was rejected, but they noted possible fraud attempt. Tuesday, my daughter got an Instagram DM from a fake account. Message said, "Your dad's a psycho. You know that, right? He's ruining people's lives over art. You should be ashamed." Screenshot, sent to my lawyer. Wednesday, my ex showed up at my daughter's school. Actually tried to talk to her in the parking lot. My daughter called me freaking out. The school resource officer got involved, told my ex to leave or he'd call the actual cops. She left, but not before shouting, "Your dad is destroying my life." That was it. Filed for a restraining order. Included every instance of harassment, showing up at my house drunk, showing up at my daughter's school, the fake reports, everything. The restraining order hearing was Friday. My ex showed up with her mom and her lawyer arguing that she needed protection from me. Her lawyer actually said, "My client has been subjected to ongoing harassment via this lawsuit, which we maintain is frivolous and vindictive." The judge cut her off. "The lawsuit isn't harassment, it's a legal proceeding. What I'm seeing here is a pattern of your client attempting to intimidate and harass the plaintiff and his minor daughter." Showed the ring footage of her drunk at my door. The school incident, the fake reports, all documented, time-stamped. The judge granted the restraining order. 100 yards, 6 months, no contact direct or indirect. My ex actually yelled in court, "This is insane. He's the one suing me." The judge, "And you're the one showing up at his home intoxicated and harassing his daughter at school. One more outburst and I'll hold you in contempt." She shut up, but the look she gave me was pure hatred. Left the courthouse feeling like I'd won something. That feeling lasted about 4 hours. Got a call from my lawyer Friday evening. They want to settle $15,000. You drop everything including the restraining order. Absolutely not. $45,000 and the restraining order stays. They said that's impossible. She doesn't have that kind of money. Not my problem. She destroyed $50,000 in scholarship money. She pays. They're threatening to drag this out, make it expensive for you. Let them. We've got documentation, they've got excuses. The trial date got set for 5 weeks out. Meanwhile, my ex apparently got desperate. Her best friend, who'd been leading the social media charge against me, suddenly posted a long thing about reflecting on rushing to judgment and realizing there's 2 sides to every story. Translation: my ex needed money for her lawyer and her friends were tapped out. Then came the really pathetic part. My ex sent me an email from a new address. Restraining order said no contact, but apparently her lawyer said email was okay if it was about the case. Subject line: "Please read, I'm begging you." The email was 6 paragraphs of how sorry she was, how she'd made a terrible mistake, how she was in therapy now working on herself, how she'd lost her apartment and moved back with her parents, how the legal fees were destroying her, how she'd do anything to make this right. Ended with, "I know you hate me, but please don't do this. Please. I can't afford $50,000. I'll be paying it off for the rest of my life. Can we find a middle ground? I'll apologize to your daughter. I'll pay something, just not that much, please." I forwarded it to my lawyer without responding. His reply: "Interesting timing. 3 weeks before trial, suddenly she's remorseful. I'd say keep the momentum." But honestly, reading that email made me feel nothing. Not satisfaction, not pity, just nothing. She'd had so many chances. Right after it happened, she could have said, "Oh God, I didn't realize, let me help fix this." Could have offered to help pay for rush commissions from other artists. Could have done literally anything. Instead, she'd called us dramatic, refused to apologize, harassed us for months, and tried to turn everyone against us. Now that consequences were real, suddenly she was sorry? Nah. Trial prep started 2 weeks before the date. My lawyer prepped my daughter to testify. Prepared exhibits, every piece of documentation, every photo, every text message. The art teacher from my daughter's high school agreed to be an expert witness, would testify about the skill level required, the time investment, the impossibility of recreating the work in 3 weeks. We were ready. Final update, trial day. Had to take 2 days off work, 1 for jury selection, 1 for the actual trial. The jury was 8 people, 3 men, 5 women. Range of ages. My lawyer said it was a decent draw. Several parents, 1 person who worked in education, 1 retired art teacher. Good for us. My ex showed up in a modest outfit, minimal makeup, playing the struggling victim card hard. Opening arguments were straightforward. My lawyer laid out the timeline. Portfolio created over 8 months, acceptance letter with scholarship conditional on physical portfolio, explicit instruction not to touch the garage, text messages admitting she threw it away, school's rejection of the rushed replacement, enrollment at State University instead. Her lawyer's opening. This is a case of a bitter breakup being weaponized through the legal system. My client made an honest mistake while trying to maintain a household. The damages claimed are speculative and exaggerated. Then came testimony. I went first, explained the situation, the portfolio's importance, my explicit instruction not to touch the garage, the aftermath. Cross-examination was predictably aggressive. Her lawyer tried to paint me as controlling, demanding, someone who kept my girlfriend out of shared spaces. You told my client she wasn't allowed in the garage? I told her not to touch my daughter's art supplies. She could go in the garage. She just couldn't move or throw away things. But you controlled what spaces she could clean? The garage wasn't a shared living space. It was my daughter's art studio, like not going through someone's desk drawers or personal belongings. Did you ever tell my client the specific dollar value of the portfolio? I told her my daughter was applying to art schools with scholarships. The portfolio was obviously important. It was the only one my daughter had completed. Then my daughter testified. This was hard to watch. She explained each piece in the portfolio, how long each took, what they meant to her. The acceptance letter, the scholarship offer, her dream of attending that school. Did you ever tell my client directly that the portfolio was for a scholarship? The defense lawyer asked. It was labeled college portfolio. The garage had her artwork everywhere. She knew I was applying to art schools. I didn't think I needed to tell someone not to throw away a labeled portfolio in a room they were told not to touch. But you didn't specifically say, this is worth $50,000? My daughter's voice cracked. I shouldn't have to tell someone not to throw away my belongings without asking. The art teacher testified next. Explained the skill level in the photos, the time requirement, why it couldn't be recreated in 3 weeks at the same quality level. Defense tried to downplay it. But she's talented, correct? She could make new art? She could make art. She couldn't recreate 8 months of work in 3 weeks. Art isn't assembly line production. Each piece requires concept development, multiple drafts, technical execution. What she created in 3 weeks was fine. What she'd created over 8 months was scholarship level exceptional. Then my ex testified. Her lawyer coached her well. Lots of, I didn't know, I was trying to help, I feel terrible about what happened. I thought I was cleaning up old projects that weren't being used anymore. The garage was really cluttered. I never meant to throw away something important. But then my lawyer got her on cross. You received a text message 6 weeks before this incident, specifically telling you not to touch items in the garage, correct? She shifted. I don't really remember that specific text. He showed it to the jury. Projected on a screen. Her response, fine, I won't touch your precious art room. Does that refresh your memory? I guess. I didn't think he meant like everything in there. What did you think he meant? I don't know. Power tools? Guy stuff? But you saw a portfolio case labeled college portfolio, do not move, and thought it was trash? It looked old, worn out. I was cleaning fast. I didn't really look at the label. Too fast to read a label, but not too fast to carry it to the curb. I was in cleaning mode. I wasn't thinking. Exactly. You weren't thinking. You didn't care enough to check. You made a decision that this space needed cleaning more than respecting explicit boundaries. I didn't mean, after you threw it away and found out it was important, what did you do? She blinked. What do you mean? Did you apologize? Offer to help fix it? Try to recover it? The trash had already been picked up. That's not what I asked. What did you do to help remedy the situation? Long pause. I told them it wasn't my fault. You told a 17-year-old girl who'd just lost 8 months of work and a $50,000 scholarship that she was being dramatic? I didn't say dramatic. He pulled up the text messages, showed them to the jury. Her message, God, you guys are so dramatic. Just draw some new pictures. Is that not your message? Her face went red. I was upset they were yelling at me. They were upset that you destroyed something valuable, and your response was to tell them to get over it. No response. Her lawyer tried damage control with character witnesses. Her mom cried about how her daughter was a good person who made a mistake. Her best friend talked about how devastated my ex was about the whole situation. My lawyer's cross-examination was brutal. When did she start expressing this devastation? Before or after she was served with the lawsuit? Well, after, but... So her remorse appeared once there were legal consequences? She was in shock before that. Shock that prevented her from apologizing but not from posting on social media about toxic exes? That shut her up. Closing arguments took an hour total. My lawyer was clear. $50,000 scholarship lost directly due to defendant's actions, emotional distress, legal fees. Her lawyer argued the damages were speculative, since my daughter could still have a good education at State University. Jury deliberated for 4.5 hours. Came back at 6 p.m. Verdict: liable for destruction of property and emotional distress. Damages: $38,000. Not the full amount, but substantial. The jury foreman explained they calculated the tuition difference between art school, with scholarship, and State University for 4 years, plus emotional distress, minus the living expense portion of the scholarship since that was future money not yet spent. Plus my legal fees, $9,200. Total, $47,200. My ex went white, started crying. Her mom stood up and shouted, "This is robbery." The judge banged his gavel. "Ma'am, sit down or leave the courtroom." Payment structure: $12,000 within 45 days, then $1,500 monthly until paid off. "I don't have $12,000, my ex said to her lawyer, loud enough for everyone to hear. "Judge, that's between you and your attorney. You've been found liable." Outside the courthouse, my ex's mom tried to confront me, but security stopped her. Could see her screaming something about appeals and justice. My ex sent one email later that night, through her lawyer, technically legal. "I hope you're happy. You've destroyed my life. I'll be paying this off until I'm 50. Hope it was worth it." I didn't respond. That was 9 days ago. The first payment hit my account yesterday. $12,000. No idea where she got it, probably her parents, but it's there. Set up a college fund for my daughter with it. Won't cover everything, but it's something. My daughter's at State University now. Good school, decent art program. She's adapting. Started drawing again, slowly. Talking about building a new portfolio, maybe applying to transfer after 2 years. But there's a sadness in her now that wasn't there before. The money doesn't fix that. Someone asked if I feel guilty about the amount. Honestly, no. She destroyed something worth $50,000. She made it worse by refusing to apologize and spending months harassing us. She fought the lawsuit instead of settling early for less. Every escalation was her choice. The restraining order's still active. 4 more months. Haven't heard from her except that one email. Did this solve everything? No. My daughter's still not at her dream school, but someone learned you can't just destroy other people's work because it's inconvenient. And my daughter knows I'll fight for her when it matters. That's enough.